Welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome to Mother Supreme's Cabinet of Curiosity. We hope you're all doing well this evening. We would like to welcome you to our panel as we discuss AHS Hotel, and we are talking unanswered questions and plot holes for episodes. What?
4, 5, and 6 to start.
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Please welcome our other cabinet members. Here we have lovely Di, Lady Di.
Hello.
Everybody, welcome Lady Di to the show tonight. This is her first appearance.
First stream
Welcome.
ever.
Yay.
Welcome, Lady Di. Then we have on the mic Kinky Kitty.
Hey.
Just kidding.
Of course, I am IrishMeli. And last but not least, we have Magic Mike.
Yes. First off, we're going to kick it off with, like Mel said, 4, 5, and 6. But just a reminder, if you didn't catch last week's show, last week we started Hotel. We went over the first part, which was 1, 2, and 3. Realized that we were going to go much longer than just 2 episodes of Hotel. So we're going to do the next couple, see how long the discussion takes us tonight. If you're in the comments, if you want to comment, you want to jump in the discussion, you want to ask us something, you want to debate something, you want to fight about something, whatever, just join the discussion. Come on in. We are in. We're opening up the hotel. We're opening up room 64, and let's get started. You guys, panel, you guys got anything before we start?
No. All I need to say is you are now entering room 64.
Here we go. Gross. Okay, so I have. I'll kick off the discussion tonight with. Let's start with episode 4, and everybody should know. Huh?
Recap.
Oh, the recap from last week was like I said. We just started Hotel. We started the first couple episodes. We talked about some overall general theories about. There's that echo again. Some overall general theories about how we felt about the whole season, and then we started talked about the differences between some different plot holes with the first couple episodes. And then that was also last week that we realized that we're going to go along with Hotel because there's a lot to talk about, especially when we get into post-apocalypse. And speaking of post-apocalypse, we should start touching on some of that next week. And we are very, very, very pleased to announce that our own Mother Supreme, Mary Girl Moody, will be joining the panel next week to discuss Hotel, which is her favorite season. So if you're not tuned into the cabinet yet, or this is your first time joining us, everybody give Mary some support as she joins our show, which we are a sub-show of her show. Make sense?
Absolutely.
We all belong to the same Mother Supreme.
Yes, so she's going to have fun coming on the show. She's excited and to talk about Hotel. We'll get her thoughts of some unanswered questions, some theories, some loopholes, some plot holes, and then we'll see, what she thinks about the episodes that we cover and the post-apocalypse stuff. And then I think we're going to do one more episode of Hotel. So a total of 4 covering Hotel. In a couple weeks to be discussing all of the post-apocalypse stuff that happened in season 8 that affected the timeline of Hotel. So that'll be a big discussion. And Kenny, who's one of the hosts of our panel, he should be back next week. I want to wish Kenny well. He's going through some stuff, and wish Kenny speedy recovery to come back to the show and continue this discussion.
This is Kenny.
What?
This is for Kenny.
For Kenny. For Kenny. You're listening out there, Kenny? This is for you.
We miss you.
We ready to start?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, first off, we're gonna cover basically 4, 5, and 6 tonight. I'm gonna cover the first couple episodes, which are 2 very different episodes. Not a lot of conspiracy theories or plot holes per se, but let's talk about the differences in the episodes because this was a big. I feel this was a big turning point in the season as a whole because this for me, these 2 episodes started the, dare I say, the mess of what Hotel is. And I don't mean mess in a bad way necessarily for Hotel, but Hotel comes off of the heels of Freak Show, which was a very concise, very tight season where it was incredibly character based. Every single character was really focused, and Hotel just kind of threw that right out the window, and Hotel was really haphazard. It was all over the place. And I think these 2 episodes are the start of that. The start of the real haphazardness of what Hotel became. Some people love it. Mary loves it. Diana loves it. Favorite seasons. But for me, it was too careless. The plot was too careless. The characters were too careless for it to be, up there my top. But let's talk about 4 first.
Real quick, Mike. Mm-hmm. I just want to say we have Debbie in the comments. So I just want to give a shout out to Debbie.
Debbie.
Welcome to the Freak Show.
Another admin, Freaks of Hotel. Welcome. So are you able to follow the comments?
Yeah, I got the comments.
Okay, cool. Okay, so episode 4. Episode 4 is the Devil's Night. Yes. It's a really interesting episode because the majority of the episode, I would say, is just that one scene. We get to really meet March for the first time. He's absolutely phenomenal in this episode, to where you get a sense of who he was and the basic structure of the plot of the hotel, that all of these serial killers came to March at some point in their careers to seek guidance, to seek institution, to seek whatever through him. So March really is the granddaddy of this evil. And then we find out later, that the hotel is actually a doorway, a gateway for the evil, but we can consider March the gatekeeper of that doorway. And Devil's Night is interesting because a lot of people are confused about Devil's Night. A lot of people have a lot of different opinions about what all of that meant. For me, it served a couple of purposes. Number one, it was a lot of fun history. Ryan Murphy likes to do these history type things, especially we'll see in Cult. We see here where he brings in real life events, real life characters into the mix of his fictional universe, and basically shed some light on them. So in this episode, in Devil's Night, we had Richard Ramirez, who was the Night Stalker of Los Angeles. We had Eileen Wuornos, who was the hitchhiker killer.
Can you say how Lily Rabe transformed into Eileen Wuornos?
She sure did.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I actually thought
he was scary.
I thought Lily Rabe's portrayal was better than what's her face's from Monsters. Actually,
Charlize Theron.
Yes, yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. Lily Rabe was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We also had Jeffrey Dahmer, we had John Wayne Gacy, and we had the Zodiac Killer, which is interesting that Ryan put the Zodiac Killer in there. So Ryan was proclaiming that the Zodiac Killer was indeed dead, because you had to be dead in order to attend Devil's Night, because they talked about Charlie Manson had not died yet at this point when Hotel aired. So Charlie Manson was still alive, and Charlie Manson could not attend. Yes, he could not attend Devil's Night. So he was proclaiming that the Zodiac Killer, whomever he or she may be, was dead and present in the room, and the Zodiac Killer was a he in Hotel, where we learned in Cult that it was a she, or a group of she's was actually the Zodiac Killer. So Ryan kind of changed his own plot line in his own universe that way.
Well, no, not really, because if you remember in Cult, Valerie Solanas gets upset because some man took credit as the Zodiac, or was taking credit when it was really their killings.
Mm-hmm. But would that man, just that general man who just took credit for it, would he be invited to Devil's Night though?
Maybe if they thought he did it.
Yeah. Yes.
I think he would have been invited, because if he was evil enough for someone to think that he was a Zodiac Killer, he earns a place at the table for me.
True.
And maybe he's the one that went through the hotel, whereas the real killer
That's the point.
Really
Correct. Yeah, because remember, all of these people, what we're led to believe through the eyes of Richard Ramirez and through the eyes of John Wayne Gacy are the two predominant ones in the episode. That we learned that March actually was their mentor. And all of this was in hopes of the killer that John ends up being in Hotel. I marched through all these years, was trying to find his protege, trying to find the person that was going to continue to carry on the Deadly Sins killings. And he eventually finds that in John later. Spoiler alert, whatever. But Gacy couldn't do it. Dahmer, Richard Ramirez, they were all flawed in their own way. They were all selfish in their own way. That ended up, having their own fates decided for them, and it couldn't fulfill what John ends up fulfilling for March. But so we get to be so it's basically kind of a little mini. It's a neat episode. It's probably one of my favorite American Horror Story episodes of all time, because it's actually basically a fun fictional set documentary. It really teaches you the ins and outs, the very, very basic structure of these 5 serial killers. And Ryan Murphy does a really good job capturing besides the Zodiac killer, he does a really good job of capturing just the pure essence and what made these people famous in their own little ticks. Like, for example, you have Eileen Wuornos, who Lily Ray, like we've said before, is just absolutely phenomenal. She really showed John when she was, all up on him, and then the instant anger that she feels towards him, and her mood swings back and forth of who Eileen really was. And Eileen hated men so much that, she struck out to them. She killed them, but yet she was able to seduce these men. And she was able to, woo them and get their ways when she was, prostituting or hitchhiking or whatnot. And I think in that little short, 10 minutes that Ryan featured her, he really captured that. The same way with John Wayne Gacy, being the childlike innocence that he was in his head, almost a Twisty kind of way. Same actor played Twisty that played John Wayne Gacy. They have very, very similar.
That's really cool because Twisty was based off of John Wayne Gacy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same type of demeanors. Cool. Mm-hmm. Both of them were kind of innocent minds. Yeah.
And Debbie makes a good comment. She said that James Patrick March is her favorite Evan Peters character, and that his accent was perfection.
Yeah, it was.
And she said it was Butchie, and Butchie was the one dressed as Zodiac in Hotel. And she says, "Look at her in Cult, same person."
Was it the same actress though? I don't think so.
You never know. Maybe you don't see who it is, so maybe we're supposed to be alluded to it.
Yeah, maybe. Because that's the actress that played the coach on Glee. What's her name?
Jane.
No, not Jane Lynch. No. I don't know.
No, the other one. I know who you're talking about. The short curly hair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I forget her name, but yeah, that's the actress that played her in Cult. That played the Zodiac killer. But yeah, the same type of body structure, so it could be. But they referred to him as a him in this episode, though. Not as a she.
Well, because we hadn't been introduced to the fact that the Zodiac could possibly be a she yet.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't I supposed to be watching the time? Okay. So we got John Wayne Gacy. We got his feel of his innocence, and we got a feel of his childlike behavior. We also got a feel of his. I think of all of everybody was pretty freaking sinister that was in that room. But if you look at the death toll and the absolute horror, John Wayne Gacy was probably the worst that was in that room. Dahmer was pretty freaking sick himself. But John Wayne Gacy had how many kids? That was. And Debbie, do you know off the top of your head? There was 30 something, maybe. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, that was wasn't that just bodies they found?
Bodies. Just in the crawl space.
They believed there were many more.
Yeah, they're buried all over that house and in crawl spaces and in attics and stuff. It was just absolutely. They were children. Just this utter horror that man was. Now Dahmer was sick. Dahmer was in Dahmer's mental illness. He was trying to convert these people, these boys, to love him. And he really believed in his mind for a moment that if he drilled their heads or if he, drugged them or whatever he was doing to mind manipulate them, that they would actually convert and love him. And then when they couldn't convert and love him, he was told by the voices, by the schizophrenia in his head, that he was to eat their souls. and that's why he was actually cannibalism. Eating these poor guys' bodies. I think of all the schizophrenics in the room, Dahmer was the sickest one. As far as that goes, he had no self-conscious of what he was doing. He really, it was all out of his need, this yearning need that he had to be with these young men. Richard Ramirez, I think, was the most sadistic of all of them. Richard Ramirez was just evil. He's kind of like Bundy, that he was just got off on the evil of himself.
But before we get too far, does anybody else have anything to say about like either Eileen Wuornos, Zodiac, Jeffrey Dahmer?
Gacy.
I have something to say about John Wayne Gacy.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to sound like a weirdo. I mean, I did this when there was Eileen Wuornos mentioned because a woman serial killer, I love the shit out of that. But Gacy is actually one of my favorite serial killers, if a person can have a favorite and not be completely homicidal, because he was such a pillar of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew what he was doing at home because he was a pillar of the community, a member of the JCs. Nobody had a clue until he went to the police station.
Yeah, Bundy was like going to law school and dating women who had high stature. I mean, these people were just so disguised.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think with the exception of Ramirez and Dahmer was just quiet, just a recluse. But Ramirez on the street was evil.
Yeah.
I lived through that.
Yeah, my husband was telling me he lived through that as well. He was in LA during
that's
Ramirez's
where I
reign.
am, and he killed somebody like less than a mile from my house one night when my husband happened to go out of town. I was like 22, and the guy that played him was really fucking scary to me because I lived that.
Yeah. As my husband was telling me when we just did a big rewatch because he had not seen any of the seasons of American Horror Story, and when I joined the admin team over on Freaks, he got into it as well, and he's like, "Well, let me watch all the seasons," and we binge watched it. And when we got to this episode, he was saying the same thing. That he was pretty traumatized by the whole thing. That
it sent chills down my spine.
Yeah.
It just freaked me out.
Yeah, he really had that community up by the balls.
It was so close to everybody up here in LA. It was just
exactly, and that's the thing right there is that to all of us, well, not all of us, but to most people, you're just watching a show. You're desensitized. Yep. You don't think it's real. It's just another character. But there's people who, these are really based off, and there's people who really lived through this horror, and that's just, I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm. It's like with me, knowing Andrew Cunanan and living through San Diego during that time is crazy.
That's when it all hits home.
Yeah, it does. It becomes very real. You see the sensationalism of, our media, and for whatever you think about our media always sensationalizes killers or shooters, or where you don't ever hear about the victims. You hear about who does the damage, and serial killers especially have become celebrities, have become mini celebrities. Like Kitty was just saying, my favorite. We all watch the movies of them. We all watch the documentaries. Ryan's putting them on their show. That they become these mini celebrities. But you strip that away. Manson. Oh God, Manson's huge. You strip that away, and you talk to a person that's actually lived through one of their terror sprees. Like look at the people in San Francisco that lived through the Zodiac killings. That still was never solved with the Zodiac killings. That's absolutely frightening, to have gone through that. People that lived through the Bundy stuff, or in Milwaukee that lived through the Dahmer stuff.
Yeah, he had a fiance.
Or the BTK.
Who?
They just caught him more recently. And what was the other one? The San Francisco, the one that ended up being the officer. They finally just caught him after all these years. So you never know. I mean,
Jack the Ripper. Did you hear about the Jack the Ripper case? They finally solved the Jack the Ripper case. Or they think they solved the Jack the Ripper case.
That's another show.
Yeah, we should do that show. That case is absolutely fascinating. That how they came up with that DNA stuff just recently.
Okay, so we're 20 minutes, guys.
Okay,
20 minutes
so in a nutshell, so those are the people that we were introduced. I thought of the episodes of all of American Horror Story as a series as a whole, this was one of the best to showcase stuff like this. I thought this did it better than anything Cult did, showcasing stuff like this. We're gonna get into next week the finale when we return to Devil's Night, but going back to the episode itself, Devil's Night was there because once a year on Halloween, March brings his proteges back, and is able to have a party with them. Have one night. And for those of you that don't know, that are out there, that are maybe seeing this video later or listening, Mary through her live stream, we are actually going to be hosting Devil's Night this year on Halloween through the live stream. So it should be a lot of fun. For patrons. So we're going to actually do a Devil's Night this year. But again, for the show, going back to the episode, it really was about showcasing these killers. It was about showcasing March and who he was, who he meant, why he built the hotel, why he was the A-game elite of the elites in serial killers. And I think the episode did a fantastic job. Now, my question, loopholes, theories, and all that discussion that we're talking about is the confusion around what John was seeing, or what somebody that was brought into the room later would have been seeing on that night. Because does Devil's Night function? Because Devil's Night, you got two things going on. First off, you got March inviting them, bringing them all back in there. You've got the ghosts that are in the hotel that always reside, like Sally and whatnot, that just are present because they're in the hotel where they died. And then you've got the whole Halloween aspect of it, to where people can come and go on Halloween. But then you've also got John's schizophrenia on top of that, which is going on where you can't trust his own. You, as an audience member, we can't trust John. We can't trust what he's seeing. So it was really confusing because there was flashes back and forth during the episode that John wasn't seeing anything. That this was all in John's head. But did March really consult with these people during their time? So it's like,
that's a scary thought.
Yeah, it's like, is this all in John's head, thinking up all this? Is this all a manifestation of March to get? Because by this time, remember how many people has John already killed at this time? 2,
3,
3,
no. 3, 2 or 3.
So he's well on his way in this. So is March, the ghost of March, manifesting these people to push John further over the edge? Or is these people really there, and John just really is the next new protege of all of this?
Well, they said that they thought he wasn't ready yet to know the truth, because that's why they invited him. They thought he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And then when he collapsed, they say he's not ready yet.
Yeah, John doesn't accept it for many more episodes yet.
So it could be, and yeah, he finally accepts it in 9 or 8.
Yeah. But again,
you know how many proteges March had.
I know, exactly. It's like, because the March is, this all comes back to March. This all comes back to the right one. Yeah, this all comes back to his evil and what he wanted to accomplish. And he died so young in his process of his evil that he was not able to go through the 10 Commandments. And he wanted this so badly that if we're to believe March's story with these people at Devil's Night, March molded some of the most evil minds in the planet to continue his own work. If we're to believe that,
he was like a cult leader,
right?
Exactly. He was the first, the big cult leader in AHS.
Very much. Good eye, Die.
Yeah. So, any questions on Devil's Night? We'll talk more about Devil's Night next week, because we're going to go into the finale about Devil's Night, and when What's Her Face shows up at Devil's Night and starts hearing and seeing this thing that she does, kind of changes a lot of stuff that goes on in Devil's Night. But we'll talk about that next week. Questions, comments, thoughts?
I loved it. It kind of put everything together for me. I just kind of went, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite episodes.
Right.
It's fun. And a lot of it's because of Lily Rabb, Evan Peters. Their performances in that one episode was just a treat, an absolute treat. Okay, Absolutely. So moving on so we go from one of the best episodes of American Horror Story to one of the most scattered, most ridiculous episodes of the series of a whole. And that's episode 5, which is the Halloween episode of the season. The worst, I feel, the worst Halloween episode of all the series. It's obnoxious, for a better lack of word. This is the episode where you got a couple of the big conversions going on. It's almost like a conversion episode. This is Kathy Bates' character where she's converted into her vampire state, and then you've got all them freaking children that Alex converts in this episode. So most of the Halloween episode was really taken up by those children, which I thought was really over the top. I don't know what you guys think about it, but it's just obnoxious that, you know, this whole freaking classroom pulls this big old huge, you know, cult mentality type thing, and they eat all the teachers, and then, you know, almost like a school shooting afterwards, the press comes out and people come out, and you got to believe the little children, and it was another new plot hole introduced for Alex's character's storyline that got way out of hand. I thought that was just Ryan Murphy showboating on this episode. Now, what's her face's conversion, Kathy Bates's, was pretty interesting with her and her relationship with Donovan. But this is where we see Kathy Bates's character start to make her turn from going from this mousy little, you know, nobody into the eventual real runner of that hotel, and what she was doing. And then finally we had the big Countess thing at the end with Countess and Alex at the end, and who was that last scene with her? It's a big Countess moment. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I'll think of it in a second. But so it's all over. So basically, my problem with the episode, and just keeping it real brief on this episode, is that it tried to be a Halloween episode, and it was all over the map. It had too many characters in the episode. It had too many plot lines in the episode, and I thought it was the worst Halloween episode that we've had. Anybody? Where did I write that? So I wanted to talk about that Countess scene. Oh, this is Darren Criss' episode, by the way. He was featured in this episode. So if you want to see Darren Criss in American Horror Story, he was in. Yeah, he did his little you know, a stuck-up little actor kind of role in this. This is cute, but
they were obnoxious.
The whole episode was obnoxious. Oh,
I really
God, what am I thinking? Because this was Liz's conversion. This was Liz's conversion episode. That was the big point where we got to see the Countess change Liz into the woman that she was. So that was amazing. So you went from a lot of this crazy stupid kids torture stuff to that last scene with Liz, which is absolutely just a masterclass of acting on the two of them.
I don't know how Dennis O'Hare didn't win an award for that performance.
Dennis O'Hare left American Horror Story so bitter because of his lack of recognition, his lack of pay, his lack. He has done some of the best work of that entire series, and he got no credit for it, especially after Hotel. He was
amazing in Coven. He was amazing in Freak Show. He's a great character actor.
Mm-hmm. Well, even a small role in Roanoke, that scattered crazy character that he played in Roanoke down in the little cellar, it was phenomenal. But
Eliza Cummings, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, for Roanoke, yeah. But his first season and Hotel performances were just off the chain. And he didn't get the notice, just like Evan. You know, I can't blame Evan. A little bit too. Evan got no recognition for Cult. Evan had the best performance of his career in Cult and got no award recognition for it. I mean, freaking wasn't Sarah Paulson nominated that year? Cult, and Evan wasn't.
Which is really crazy to me.
Yeah, but what's really funny about the whole thing is that Sarah Paulson is now getting noticed for everything that Ryan Murphy does when she didn't have that respect in Hollywood 5 years ago. So tables have kind of turned for her. Now she's the only one getting recognized in that universe, whereas the other people need to be recognized and they're not.
Right.
Like what? I mean, I love her. She's bow down to her. But why the fuck did Lady Gaga win an award for the Countess? When people like Dennis O'Hare didn't even get noticed?
Exactly. I could see her winning the award. But for someone like Dennis O'Hare in that season to not win it was like, what?
Not even recognized, not even mentioned.
No, he wasn't even nominated. Was he?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't think so.
No, he wasn't.
No, and see, for me, I love Lady Gaga. That was one of the, I'm like, oh, wow, she can actually act. However, her character was very one-dimensional for me.
Yes.
No
Yes.
meat, no marrow, just the cellophane wrapper on the meat.
It was her first act. It was her
very predictable.
It was her first acting performance, and it was very obvious first acting performance. Not that it was bad, and not that it didn't fit Gaga beautifully, but it wasn't award-winning. I don't think.
I think it brought a lot of people over though to American Horror Story.
It did. Well, sure, yeah. It was a whole new generation that came in. You know, it was from the Jessica Lange into the Lady Gaga. That's where Horror Story turned, and Horror Story really flipped itself on its head. You know, with Gaga, and so I think she brought phenomenal stuff to the series. I would love to see Gaga back in Horror Story, but I don't think she'll ever come back.
Well, you never know. Never say never.
I mean, she loves Ryan, so
he got her a Golden Globe.
Yep, exactly. So
yeah,
I mean, whoever pissed her off on the set of Roanoke may be long gone anyway. So
that's true.
Which episode are we on? 5?
We're on 5, but I didn't have a lot to talk. The only thing I really wanted to mention about 5, I didn't have any plot holes or any problems per se with 5. I just thought 5 was hit and miss. It was a complete miss for the first half of the episode, and then it was absolutely one of the best portions of the whole series. Yeah. Yep. And that was
I don't know what's with the kids. The kids creep me out.
It wasn't. See, they didn't even creep me out. It was over the top. It got obnoxious.
It just felt too. I don't know. I didn't. It's actually. I think I might have fast forwarded through that.
Yeah. It's obnoxious. It's like they could have had that little boy converted in the hospital to show where Alex's mind frame was and left it alone. The kids didn't have to go kill all their teachers and then show the problem with the press and the problem with that's what I think it was. Is that little scene with the kids in the schools became a big preaching moment for what's happening in society with our schools and school shootings and press and all that stuff.
Talk about potholes. How are these kids killing, and the parents are not talking to each other? That they don't know they're all dead. It's kind of a little bit ridiculous.
It was very ridiculous. Very exaggerated.
That might have been the biggest, pothole in the whole series for me.
It was just the big mess. It was just Brian was trying to make a social justice point with the whole school shooting things, but he used vampire kids to do it, and it just I don't think it worked. Anyway, Kitty, you're up.
Okay,
first
thing I didn't like in 5 the whole kids killing their parents thing, and then the kids were in the hotel and parents weren't, because I'm sorry, but when I want to ground my kid for eternity for killing me, I'm grounding my kid for eternity. I will be there with that child going, nope, go do the dishes. Okay, episode 6 is one of my favorites because of Dennis O'Hare.
What was the title of that episode again, Kitty?
Room 33.
Room 33.
I don't remember what the title of episode 6 was.
5. I think it's Room 33.
No, 5. 5.
5?
Yeah.
Hell, I don't know. I didn't have that one. Okay, for episode 6, I don't have a whole lot. I'm going to go kind of backwards in the way I took my notes, because I took them the way that the episode was laid out. But I can hop around. The only thing I'm really going to say briefly about the Countess until I tear into her a little bit is that the moment when you see Angela Bassett and Kathy Bates getting ready to go kill those kids, all I could think was, fuck the Countess, because they are like ready to go, and like they are going to go and kill her Bartholomew. Like they're going to go and fuck this kid up. There will be no. They want Anya. Bartholomew's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
that's her only soft side.
And one person that I loved in the episode, other than Dennis O'Hare, is Mare Winningham. Because, God, she needed some sort of like...
Another underestimated.
That was the maid, yes.
Yeah.
I loved her. She was so campy and awesome, and just the campiness was so awesome. And
she's a great character actress too, just like Dennis O'Hare. She really is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then trying to one thing that I'm going to give completely just opinion, so everybody can have like a little laugh before we go into like my heavy plot thing, is when Donovan comes out and gets to meet who Melinda calls the Swedish meatballs, which are the two foreign girls. I just want to say, anybody that's ever seen a marble countertop, to me, his suit that he's wearing, he looks like a marble countertop.
I totally agree with you. Totally agree.
Mr. Blackwell would not like that outfit. And then I didn't like... See, Lady Gaga, like I said, for me, was very one-dimensional. And another person that was kind of one-dimensional for me, just maybe because I didn't like her, was Alex.
Because I know, right?
I agree with that.
She's a manipulative twat.
Yeah, these couple episodes, this 5 and 6, 7 run for Alex is horrible.
Like, to me, she seems like she doesn't care about anybody but herself at all. I don't think she loves Holden as much as she loves herself.
She used Holden as an excuse to shut away from society, to shut everybody off. She used that as an excuse. She didn't have Holden long enough to know that he up and changed her life and all this shut everybody out because of what happened to Holden. Completely selfish.
But so John got my pity in this episode.
Huh?
Go ahead, Diana.
Oh, no, just Chloe Sevigny in general, she has a way of acting that's kind of Alexy in almost everything she does. Yes. Even back to like Melinda with Woody Allen. She just kind of like in when in Asylum, she was different. Movie, but usually she's like that lamenty kind of serious, selfish person. I think that might just be her.
Maybe.
Well, no, I may have her mixed up with somebody who played. Who was in? Was it Boys Don't Cry, Girls Don't Cry?
That was
Hillary Swank.
No,
Hillary Swank.
Hillary Swank.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Chloe.
I don't like blondes. They all look alike. I love you, Melinda.
She was in a movie called Melinda.
Yeah.
No, and I own the movie and I've never seen it, but really? I had to buy it.
Well, Chloe Sevigny is one of the stars.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's okay. Yep. Like I said, I just don't care for blondes. I guess.
But wait. A week ago, weren't you a blonde for a day?
And I said I looked like Trump. I went from a brunette to this.
It's cute.
Very lovely.
Where are we at on the time?
Red is great.
And
okay.
And then let's see, Mare Winningham. Okay, so in this episode, like I said, Liz is one of my favorite characters. Dennis O'Hare is one of my favorite actors. And I think maybe I have a weakness for him because he's a Capricorn like myself. Like I called my mom once and told her I wish she would have like shot me out a day earlier so that we could have the birthday together. But then I wouldn't have Melinda's birthday.
That's true.
But
I have your birthday, technically.
I have yours.
You guys are a couple days apart, and me and Diana are a couple days apart.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, me and Kitty have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, the same birthday. And then me and Diana are just a couple days apart.
And then, okay, so I have like this big, long thing about
Bartholomew.
So is Bartholomew the Antichrist? Because I heard maybe Ryan Murphy might have some Antichrist stuff going on. And why would Ryan Murphy put the Antichrist in there? I don't fucking know. And is James March Bartholomew's father? Like, you know, she wasn't saying anything about who the daddy was other than she was 3 weeks and some odd change along. And that's what he thought. But then she whipped out this big baby doll. It's like, Jesus, woman, you're like 10 months along. And
I told you guys my theory on that with the murder house thing.
Yeah, she went to murder house to get the abortion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that I was
when you first saw it.
Just getting ready to say, why do we only see Dr. Montgomery engaging in nefarious stuff?
Because he's a sick fucker.
Abortion. We see neglecting his wife. We see him making infantata, and it was kind of weird.
And he was always huffing. He was always huffing and getting high.
Always huffing the damn, huffing the.
Wasn't it ether?
The laughing gas.
Ether?
I think it was ether. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of disturbed when he didn't miss a beat. Nothing on his face when he goes, "It's a boy." I was like,
I love him.
I'm like,
I do a take on Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what it's based off of.
Freaking weird. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I want to know if James March is that
Frankenstein thing.
No, I don't remember. Was Bartholomew before or after the infantata?
Technically before.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go by timeline, infantata came afterwards, which is why it plays into my theory.
So you really could say that James Patrick March was responsible for all of this. Because James Patrick March was the one that had the infantata killed, which had them create the infantata, which brought in the evil into the house.
We don't know that. We theorize that.
Okay.
And then the last thing that I had was I did not like the Countess killing Tristan because
she's
I know, and that hurt me, and that hurt Liz so much.
We just went off of my episode where they showed the Countess converting Liz to the woman she was. Showed the pure heart of the Countess, and in the very next episode, she does that out of her own selfishness. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, because you could see that look of love and hope and optimism on Liz's face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the fucking nail just, and I was like, oh, I cried.
Yeah,
I did. I cried.
Really thought she'd understand. She really thought since she created Liz that she would be happy for her because she had so many men. Why would she care about one?
Nice.
So it just shows how.
What Liz told her, why would you not let me have one? You have
one.
You get tired of them.
Well, look at what she did to Mo with Ramona. She doesn't want anything of hers to have anything other than her, but she can have everything she wants.
Yep. Yeah, the Countess is a bitch.
But I'm sure that's probably because of what happened to her with Valentino.
Yep. That's exactly right. Exactly.
Oh, God.
Which is the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I have for 6. I just, I want to know, more about, for sure, is James March the father of Bartholomew? I really want,
That's what I always did. That's what I was
a DNA test. I want a goddamn DNA test.
Because who
else? Well, they were married in 1925.
I don't think I trust an AHS test.
Now, just because they were married doesn't mean anything, because we had Lobster Boy in the freak show taking care of the married women with his digits.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, I just
marriage
feel that since he was so evil.
I never thought of anybody but March.
And she wasn't fully in love with March. It was an arrangement mostly.
But with her in that time and her dependence on certain situations, it doesn't seem like she would break that arrangement.
Right? Because she didn't know he was still alive. She didn't know what happened.
Oh, Kenny just treated us. He said, "Good luck, you guys." Thanks, Kenny.
And he gave us a heart. He did.
I was just going to say, Kitty, was that all you had?
That is all I have.
I was just going to run down through some of Kenny's notes real quick then.
Yeah, please do.
Because I got them pulled up. I just got to move my camera. let's see.
Go on.
So, and I know some of these we already kind of answered and went over. So, but he said the same thing is Bartholomew, Elizabeth and James's son. And he said the Countess's baby was 3 weeks and 26, and the baby could be Antichrist Part 1.
Wait,
which I know
I don't know. Why are we talking about Antichrist? How did this conversation come up? Why the Antichrist?
I can't ask.
Why that thought?
We can't ask Kenny, but for me, there was just like, it seemed like something growing at such an alarming rate for me.
Oh, okay.
Which is what Michael
that makes
did.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I never thought of that train of
Michael
thought.
did it in the womb.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Michael did it in the womb, and then he did it after he was born as well.
Correct. He had that one period where he just jumped all those years. So, okay, I just didn't know why people were thinking that. Makes sense.
And then Kenny says, basically, like my theory that maybe Dr. Montgomery used Bartholomew and the Countess's blood to create the infantata. Which honestly to me makes sense because of the timeline, because he was crazed, and I could see him doing that because he wanted his son back.
Yeah, he might have had Countess's blood,
but why would he save her blood?
He saved all them jars full of all sorts of crap.
Yeah, all that creepy stuff.
Very true, very true. And the guy was high on ether all the time. You never know. Why did Liz and Tristan become a thing out of nowhere? What do you guys think?
Tristan, I think Tristan was yearning and seeking that sort of approval and that sort of like discipline, and I think Liz was seeking any type of attention for the woman she was, and I think they just met. Two stars just aligned at the right time. Because remember, when Tristan enters the hotel, he's at the end of his rope. He's right. He's buck wild.
That's
and I think
when
Liz
he smells the cocaine through 3 doors.
He what?
I said that's when he smells the cocaine through like the 3 doors and halfway down the hotel. I know you heard cocaine in here.
I think that's just a figure of speech that he said. He knew they had cocaine in there.
He was at rock bottom at that point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Liz gave him that security, that motherly type of thing that he was yearning and seeing. And remember, I really think that Tristan loved Liz more than Liz left him, because remember, Tristan left her alone when he died. That he wasn't ready to give her that grief, whatever. So I think he's really truly, mind, body, and soul really loved her. Oh, it's a tragic story.
Yeah, it's
they were going to kill the place. Iris says they were going to kill the place. Iris says this place is not for children. Well, dumbass Butch killing them would ensure they stay there forever. I think he meant bitch, not Butch.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Yeah, that's a Kenny rant. You got one in the show, Kenny.
So was Ren really with John when he killed those people?
Yes, I believe so. Mm-hmm.
Sally sent her there.
Yep.
To help him. That's why she was in the mental institution in the next episode.
Yep. I think of the killings, everything that John. I think that's John's truth. That's where we're seeing the character of John in his utmost truth. Because in episode 4. Sally basically, in Devil's Night, Sally tells John, no. It was the next one, episode 5. Sally tells John the truth. And we as the audience, him as John, as John, nobody ever picked up on it. She tells him that, you will, this stuff will be happening to you over and over and over until you get it, till you understand it. So I think the stuff that was repetitive with him with these killings and everything, I think that was John's truth. That's what we were saying. So yeah, she would have been with him.
And that's Kenny has for notes, and we're at 51.
Perfect. So that is the wrap on those 3 episodes. Like I said, next week we will go into the final block of episodes, and we will start touching on the apocalypse.
Still, I was going to say still post-apocalypse.
Yeah, still pre-apocalypse. Pre-apocalypse. We're going to be pre-apocalypse for the first couple episodes, and then we may start touching on it towards the end of the show. Mary will be with us next week. So if anybody wants to come out and support Mary for coming on, giving us support the person who's supporting us. And give her some love when she comes on the show. And we will leave you tonight with who's your favorite serial killer? Kitty's got a favorite. Do you have a favorite serial killer? Who's your favorite? It's a little sick. Kitty, you're sick.
That's why we're here.
Anybody else got anything?
Nope, just make sure y'all thumbs up this video.
Yes, thumbs up the video, like and subscribe, share it with your friends. We're new, we're oiling the machine here, but the more we get you guys engaged, the more we get more people to join in the discussion. We want to thank Debbie for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Debbie.
But the more people we get engaged, and just as an announcement, this show has been created and will continue through preseason. We will actually be the official pre-show every week for Mary's shows, for Mary's channel. So we will be doing an episode of our thoughts, predictions, and stuff based on the last week of season 9. And going into the next episode, and then Mary will be doing Beyond the Horror and stuff after that. So it should be fun. So we're getting there. We're getting there to be able to do that show for you guys.
And all of our social media links will be in the description. If you guys want to go ahead and give us a follow, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We'll have Mary's information in there too for those of you who don't know or don't have it. And if for some reason, some weird universe you're living in where you have no idea who Mary Girl Moody is, check it out.
We are here because of her.
Yes. Absolutely.
We are here.
4 people in different parts of the universe came together.
This is her world. We're here just supporting her world, her art, her books, her passion for American Horror Story and all things Ryan Murphy. She has been supporting us 100% of the way. So if you're not part of the Freaks of Hotel or is watching her show Beyond the Horror afterwards, she just won an award for her content creation on her videos. So give her some love. That's why we're here.
And in closing then, is there anything anyone would like to finish with, leave for our audience?
Tell us who your favorite serial killer is.
That's a great one. Why don't you guys go ahead in the comments? Any comment on anything you like, but let us know who your favorite serial killer was at Devil's Night, or maybe who you wished would have been at Devil's Night that wasn't there. Let us know.
There you go.
And we can discuss more of this next week when we go to the finale of Devil's Night.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us. We hope you guys had a great time, and we look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
And we're still alive.
I know. It's because I have like 50 tabs open.
I'm trying to do it with the line. And we're out.